really be
wasn't
interesting
banned.
to see Frosty not banned, and maybe that is the strategy for these teams in a match that both of them will probably feel is relatively must win. With how the first week shook out, both of these teams already kind of being threatened with a bottom two placing and missing off the playoffs. So even if you were developing a secret weapon, even if you were thinking that maybe Frosty is a way to surprise an opponent, this would be a match even this early in the season that it would be reasonable to break it out on.
Yeah, EZ Dream switched up their picks a couple of times. Obviously, only playing 2 games so far, but they switched up their picks a little bit. They started off with, I think, Airwalk and Breaking were their first 2 picks, and then it was Speed and Control were their... Oh, no, sorry, Vortex and then Airwalk were their first 2 picks in the second one. I think one of those... Oh, sorry, Breaking may have got banned in that next game, but yeah, no, changing things up a little bit. So maybe picking Frosty here going to be the play for them. Obviously, Ascent having a very similar. Yeah, we're really thinking about it. Sinuous is going to start off with. Okay.
Yes, that's picked randomly. I'm not sure exactly what's happened there. As nobody picked for the blue team, and Sinuous has been selected randomly. Sinuous loves to get randomly picked, even when there is a full 8 maps to be selected there. We've seen it selected randomly for map 7 already at least once, and it will be Grip picked.
I think,
second. Let's see
if
Worker is here.
I think I have an idea of why maybe Frosty wasn't banned. I think maybe something has gone wrong here.
Yeah, there was a misclick on the ban. Now let's be honest about it, okay? Frosty, there was a misclick on the ban. It happens, you know. But Frosty's not near that blue ban. Control's very near the top of the list there. So we'll wait. We'll get confirmation on whether or not we are going to be redoing this pick and ban. That's definitely a possibility at this point. But for the moment, it is Sinuous into Grip with Worker taking his time. I think things are being sorted out as we speak, hopefully, and a decision will be reached.
Yeah, it would be an interesting idea to pick Frosty. Three Playdays in random. There we go. Okay, we're cleared.
Reset.
We'll reset that one. Is it Frosty that is going to get banned
not
out?
Frosty. Keep your fingers crossed.
Come on. Just
I have full faith. Control is so far away.
Yeah.
The control is
Look,
so far
we can
away.
hold on to hope as much as we want. It's turning into the gyroscope of stage 2 here. Either way,
really
okay.
is.
So there's what we were expecting, and now Airwalk is the first pick. Okay, so not surprising in any way.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Airwalk into Control for EZ Dream. It's on brand. It makes sense. It's a little bit unfortunate that Frosty was the ban that came through in the end anyway. I say unfortunate. I just really want to not have a map make it all the way through the season without getting played once again. At least we've got Sinuous once, and we may see that again later on in it. I'm not convinced it's going to be pick 4 here. I'm not convinced that we'll make it all the way down that far into the match either. But definitely if there are 2 teams that could be relatively evenly matched, we would expect it to be these 2. We could go all the way to map 7 on this one.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, these are the 2 teams that are really expected to be towards the bottom of the standings by the end of the stage. That's just what we saw from, that's what we saw from EZ Dream in stage 1, and Ascent obviously coming through are the underdogs coming all the way from the promo relegation tournament. So that's what we expect to see, but obviously anything can happen. So far we've seen maps taken against teams that we expected to be completely unbeatable so far. So I'm expecting some interesting stuff to happen. Who knows? I could really see, you know, a 4-1 or a 4-2 either way, or, as you say, going to 7 maps here.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of it is potentially going to come down to the performance of the second 2 players on each team. Coco and Zerar had rough starts in week 1, both of them towards the bottom of the league. I think literally in kind of 15th and 16th place in terms of the times they were setting, and in terms of consistency, both of them relatively low down that leaderboard as well. They were not managing to set their best times with any kind of regularity. And in this format, getting those consistent 3rd places is so important, and then hoping that your teammate can pick up some first, but really just keeping one of your cars out of 4th place as much as possible. So that battle between Coco and Zerar could wind up being very important.
Could indeed. So here we go. It's starting things off. EZ Dream versus Ascent. Really, this is an incredibly important game for both teams. Both of them need this win to get things started for them. Going 2 Playdays without finding a single victory is a really tough position to be in. And obviously, towards the end of the stage, that's going to make a massive impact on whether you stay here in the Challengers League or whether, again, you're going towards that promo relegation.
An EZ Dream and Ascent, well, they've both been in that promo and relegation, albeit coming at it from different sides. And I'm sure if possible, both of them would love to avoid it. 3 players go left, 1 goes right, and we're on to things in Airwalk.
Right, here we go. Oh, well, look, we've got a little split once again. Ascent deciding, one left, one right this time around. Or, well, okay, one in the in the gap. That's fine as well. But Worker and Coco off to a good start so far. Coco trailing a little bit, 1/10 behind, but all easy to catch up over the course of this map. Zera goes very wide on this one. It's going to give him more exit speed, but it does lose him a little bit of time overall.
And we did say that the battle between specifically Coco and Zera could be very important. Zera was the slightly slower, the slightly less consistent player for Ascent, but right now he is the player who they have to pin their hopes on, battling with Worker at the front. Coco's slight mistake is going to send him a long way down the track, and on pure pace, you'd back Worker to take it to the line over Zera here.
Yeah, Worker put in an absolute shift and an immense performance last time we saw him play up against alternate attacks. Really the driving force in taking 2 wins there. Zera's, there is no way. That's a full respawn. There's no way you are getting that one done after that entry into the checkpoint. That sends him back. And although Coco, it looks like, has missed the checkpoint, he gets through there in the end. It's not the cleanest round of Airwalk, but it does result in an ace for Easy Dream.
Yeah, and it is a decently strong time there as well from Worker, 109.179. Current Challenger League record is 108.383 from Scandir, and the world record, as you can see, a 10th above that again. Should see that time improve over the course of this match, but it is going to be an ace to kick things off from Easy Dream, and that's a very, very scary first round from Coco and Zera and Arthanir, with Arthanir making an early mistake and then Zera not able to close things out and just keep at least a point handy for the team. Easy Dream will be happy to come away with an ace.
Yeah, we don't really see mistakes there that often, but the entry into that checkpoint is incredibly important. Obviously, having the checkpoint that close to the bumper means you have no time to adjust. If you do make a mistake, you have to fully respawn that one so that you can get a nice entry through there. And since it's an uphill drift, it's not really an easy one to get right. It's just that players are well practiced there.
If there is anything similar coming through this time around, I'm expecting Zera to be very conservative towards the end there. Coco with a second mistake in as many rounds, and this is now a chance for Ascent to get some points back on the board, but Worker is still holding on in the lead. It looks like a good jump. Zera might be able to catch at the finish line though with that final line. Worker quickly through. Zera is going to make it through as well, but it's just behind Arthanir, and Worker once again, a 109 is good enough to win the round and will carry Easy Dream to a draw.
And for Worker, 2 first places on the trot, and I mean, that's what we saw pretty much from him last time they played. I'm thinking maybe Worker is going to be one of the players to watch over the course of this whole stage. Easy Dream really didn't make any impact in stage 1 of the Challenger League, but so we didn't expect to see anything like this out of them. But if they manage to keep this up, if Worker manages to keep other teams at bay, we're looking at another one of those kind of Scandir or Dexter situations where it's impossible to take points against a team when one player is just keeping you at bay the whole time.
That's true, but I do want to point out that, Dexter and Scandir do have Scrappy and Woe style as their teammates as well. And,
different
those two players definitely have their ability to step up and have absolutely incredible rounds of their own. And Coco, as much as it hurts to say, we have yet to see that from him, at least this season. It'd be a great time to start doing it because Worker had a fantastic week 1. Coco, if he can have a strong week 2 as well, I'm ready to start talking about Easy Dream as being a solid team, potential, threats in the playoffs, if maybe not a team destined to go all the way.
Well, Coco starts in first place. Worker has a brilliant identity so far and may just overtake his teammate either way. 7 thousandths between the two of them. Really solid. Easy Dream looking like they are on the sweep path.
Yeah, and there is a much better round from Coco. No mistake in the middle, and he matches his teammate on time. A low 109 again is going to be good enough to win the round. And Easy Dream 7-1 are absolutely rocking Ascent on Airwalk. And we talked about it last week, Twiggy, as well. This is a map that has been picked consistently in the first 4 maps. You know that you're more than likely, unless you ban it away, which no team wants to do because there are maps they're more scared of. This is a map you will end up playing, and you want to be well practiced coming in.
Yeah, and here's the thing, that last round was relatively, it was good from everybody. Nobody really made massive mistakes. It was just pure pace versus pure pace, and Easy Dream won it completely. Their identity was cleaner. Worker got an overtake done at the end, got that snipe, got second place, got the ace for the team, and Coco has shown up that round. And as soon as Coco shows up, with Worker as that teammate so far, what it seems like is that Easy Dream are unstoppable right now. Let's see if they can do it once again. If they get another ace here, it's already over. 10-1 will be the scoreline line, and Ascent will not have even had a chance to warm up into this map. Coco in first place, Zera trailing in second, Worker looking for that overtake once again to find his team the ace, and may just be able to do it, and more. Oh! It's a brilliant line. Coco gets a 108.8, and Worker again gets that snipe on second place, takes the ace, 10-1 for Easy Dream.
That's fantastic. Coco out in first place is exactly what this team wants, because if there is one of the two players that is going to clutch up in that identity, it's been Worker. He has been clutch in the last 2 rounds there to snipe away a second place, and with 3 aces and 1 draw, Easy Dream make Airwalk look easy. Airwalk is one of the maps that Ascent managed to win in their match against Omino Sun in week 1 as well. So it is a map that they came into the season ready to play. They didn't look like the more prepared team there. Easy Dream looked absolutely fantastic, apart from Coco making a couple of mistakes. And Ascent, it's going to be a difficult bounce back now on map 2 as we head to Grip.
Well, fortunately for them, they are the only team out of the 2 that has played Grip whatsoever in the regular season. It was Playday 1 versus Omino Sun. Got that one stolen away very quickly with a 10-4, but Easy Dream have not played Grip on live servers yet, and I think you can see that starting to creep in, as Zero and Arthur have a nice start, and Coco and Worker, not so much.
Yeah, and sending it around that inside line. Zera and Artnir are looking significantly more comfortable than they did on map 1, and we'll see exactly what the times do end up being on this one. Currently, the Challenger League record is 101.8. That was set by Artnir. So, you know, I mean, this is definitely possible that this team is going to strike back immediately. Zera has made a mistake. Artnir is still off in the lead, and honestly, Coco and Worker are far enough behind that this should still turn into the ace.
Yeah, really not looking like it's going to be any trouble for Ascent to get this one done. It's all going to be about Arthanir's time here. It's a 102.5. Nothing groundbreaking whatsoever, but then again, did not need to risk that identity whatsoever, and this is one of those identities that you can play slowly if you've got those splits in hand.
It's time to start counting aces in this match so far, because out of 5 rounds, we've had 4 aces, 3 of them to Easy Dream, 1 of them now back to Ascent as well. And if they can return the favor of the 4 rounds that it took Easy Dream to beat them in map 1, maybe make it, you know, 12-0, or at least make it look as clean as that, then things, when you move on to the maps that both of these teams are less practiced on, things that weren't their instant first pick, that's where this match is really going to start to heat up. Yeah,
I mean, Easy Dream don't look like they have the lines down at the moment, you know, just driving it in the way. It doesn't seem like they've practiced this one too heavily, so it's going to be difficult to keep up with Ascent if, well, Ascent, obviously, this is their first pick, it looks like, so having those lines completely down. Worker fails the speed check after clipping his wheel on an earlier jump, and you can just see that Easy Dream are not driving it like they have driven this, like the back of their hand, you know?
And explicitly on that plastic inside line, the route that everyone is now taking to gain kind of a few tenths through the plastic. Coco, that's such a strange place to crash out in and of itself. The entry to the identity, going too high and then launching yourself off the platform. Yeah, it's just to go back to that plastic turn as well. Oof. It's the line that everyone takes. That's a 101.7. That's a new Challenger League record. I'm not going to get to finish at this point, Twiggy. As, yeah, Worker is just limit testing in live rounds now.
Yeah, I mean, may as well, right? If Arthanir is just going to set a new Challenger League record, we're now within 4/10 of the Grand League record. Might as well just take some time to, well, I mean, look, learn the map a little bit. Obviously, it seems like, you know, generally ending the map about 8 seconds behind the Ascent players. Let's get some practice in here right now, although I think there's going to need to be a lot of practice put in off the live server for Easy Dream, just in case they come up onto this map once again. Some teams do seem to like it, you know, it's not generally banned out, it's not generally picked first by a lot of teams, but it's usually picked.
And once again, it's that plastic turn. It's so important to this map. With that new line, Arthanir on the entrance to dirt will make a mistake. And Easy Dream looks significantly less comfortable than Ascent. We've seen small mistakes, not round-ending mistakes, on a couple of the last rounds from them. But enough that they have been ace twice in a row, and unless Worker can step up a lot in this identity, it could well be another ace, although Zera are out in front and Arthur with another mistake a long way behind. Could end up being a draw. This could be just a carbon copy of the first map, as Zera will cross the line with a 102. It'll be a draw back the other way, and this is pretty much exactly the scoreline that we had in reverse.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we ended things with 2 aces last time. It may just be that we end things with 1 ace. We just, swap things around, start with 2 aces, end with 1. But who knows? Either way, Easy Dream looking like they're at the very least learning on the fly at the moment. Worker and Coco starting to get a little more comfortable. Those aren't insane times whatsoever that they set, but at the very least they're respectable at this point. Now Zera and Arthur, though, look so much more comfortable. If there wasn't a mistake from Arthur there, it would have been pretty much the end of the map. We would have seen a 9-0 there. It was very easy to overtake Worker and Coco if there were no mistakes going on, but this time Worker seems to have learned the start of the map at the very least very well. Arthur clips the wall after the jump, and Coco will overtake into 3rd position just about. It's going to be Worker versus Zera and Coco versus Arthur. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, although there's mistakes from both Coco and Worker as we enter the water. And Arthur made the same mistake twice in a row on that entry into the dirt section. Coco's off the map again. That's a blue car. That doesn't mean all that much. Zera and Arthur will return the four rounds that they were dispatched in map 1 by doing it the other way. And we're up to 6 out of 8 rounds, ending in aces, and the other 2 have been draws.
Yeah, I think we can see now why Easy Dream have never picked Grip.
Yep.
Hey, look, it is what it is. It's Playday 3. I would say by now we should probably be, at the very least competitive on every single map. But hey, they've got their map pool. That is what it is. I assume they are very comfortable on the rest of the maps they picked. And speaking of which, we are going to be moving to their second pick, Control. Let me just check how they have done so far on this one. This is one of the maps they took against Alternate Attacks last Playday, 11-10. It was a close affair, but against Alternate Attacks, every win you get is going to be pretty close. They did also play it against Exalti, but they did lose it 10-8.
Yeah, but Exalti this season have come in looking very, very strong, so no shame in losing that one. But again, you would hope that the maps that teams are picking at this point, that they are definitely feeling comfortable on, that they are going to look strong. Has been the case in our first 2 maps of this match between Easy Dream and Ascent. And we'll see how this map then shakes out. A lot of it coming down to that bobsleigh turn in the middle, and your entry into this turn as well has caught some players out in the past, but everyone will make it cleanly without losing too much time on the outside.
Yeah, this was one of those maps where Worker just looked absolutely immense, an unstoppable force. Coco made a lot of mistakes last time we saw them play this map, but Worker just did not let his team lose against Alternate Attacks. An absolutely insane performance. We'll see if he can replicate that this time around. This time Coco not making a massive mistake, but Worker has to release there on the turn, falls back further. Arthur and Zera are looking good here as well.
They're out to a few tenths of a lead, and there are a few tenths to be gained in this identity, more if there's a mistake, but you can risk by sending it low, and we'll see if Worker does want to go for it. Has gone very low, and Zera has crashed out. Coco is still there. This is on for a draw now, as long as Arthur can keep clean to the finish. Looks like he has, and it will be Worker across the line. Coco slow through that final jump, but still across the line cleanly enough, and a 110.8 from Arthur to kick things off.
Currently, the Challenger League record, a 110.6 from Miquatro. I'm not giving you a point for that one, Zera, but either way. A 110.6 from Miquatro, and that's relatively far away considering, all the other maps where we're seeing stuff go down to 2 tenths, 3 tenths. This is about 4 tenths away from the Grand League record. So we start things off with a draw here. Arthur putting in a very good performance. Couple of mistakes coming on through from Easy Dream, but nothing big, just having to release a little bit into turns.
Of course, these 2 teams did meet back in the promotion and relegation tournament, as a mistake from Arthur will send him a long way back. As the 2 qualified teams, they did play each other in a show match for seeding at the end of it. That's why Easy Dream have come in as the higher seed. That's why they got first pick in this match as well. They won that match. It was a 4-3 match, though, at the very end of the promotion and relegation tournament. So we know at least on the last map pack, these teams were very, very close. And I think so far as well, we're seeing that again. But it being start of the season, it being the new map pack, we're seeing some pretty big spikes in which maps these 2 teams have practiced a little bit more. You would have expected maybe Easy Dream picking this one to have a similar spike again, but Ascent, they look good the times that they played this map as well, and they're looking good now as well. Zera out to a lead, and we could be on for a second draw in a row. Zera will keep it clean all the way to the end for a 111.2, and Worker and Coco about 3 tenths behind, at least consistent, at least close.
Yeah, they have not put together any, insane times whatsoever, but at the very least, keeping it consistent and making sure that they're maximizing the points that they get out of every round, capitalizing on mistakes from Ascent so far. Ascent did win this map 12-11 versus Sun in Playday 1. And I'm not sure whether that was a lack of practice from Sun, obviously third seed coming into Stage 2, or whether maybe they're just not as prepared for this map pack so far. Either way, IZI and Ascent, they both know that this is probably one of their best opportunities to get points, to get wins in this stage, and another early mistake comes out from the Ascent players. This time Zera hangs a wheel over that first jump.
So far, pace for Ascent has been there, but they have made more mistakes, and it's led to our 2 draws so far. It may lead to our 3rd as well, but there's a lot of pressure on Arthur now not to make a mistake in the identity. He has enough of a buffer that he should be able to jump relatively high. He is still going fairly aggressively through these turns and will keep the lead nice and stable. Will even potentially extend it a little bit. Will extend it by about a 10th through the S-bends, and yeah, you can see it going for a relatively high jump. No risk through this identity on the first jump. Same true of the second jump. Looks like it. Arthur will stay very, very safe indeed and manage to come home with another first place, and it's a 110.7 as Zera will finish for our 3rd draw.
It's about 195 thousandths away from the current Challenger League record. And IZI, yeah, I mean, they're driving very well, but you need to get ahead before you can start driving like this. You do need to get that point over Ascent before you can just force draws over and over again. And right now, they just don't have that pace to overtake the first place Ascent player, who seems to, at the very least, be covering for their teammates so far each round. And IZI, although they are driving very well, it's just not quick enough right now.
Oh, but look, there's another mistake again. And it's in roughly the same place off the track. We said that corner does catch players out. Sometimes you don't want to go too wide. You go too wide, you're going to lose grip. You're going to have to release or just be forced to go flying off the map as you lose contact a little bit with the ground. Or if you try to go too far inside to avoid that and hold your speed, you touch the inside wall. And it's happened now a couple of times in different ways to members of Ascent, and yet the pace is still there. IZI picked this map, and on terms of consistency, it's paying off for them. In terms of pure pace, Ascent have the edge.
Yeah, definitely. Zera still staying ahead, but this time it's a lot closer than previous rounds. Worker goes for a very, very low jump and overtakes his teammate, but Zera is still in first place. That's not a good jump. That may just give away the ace to IZI. This is what they were waiting for. A mistake from both players, but Coco, he doesn't get over the jump. Arthur is just crawling to the finish line. Somehow, it's another draw.
Oh, Coco will crash out on the final jump, and it does cost IZI that ace. That's the first round in a while on this map. I mean, I can't even remember map 1 or round 1. There wasn't, I think, any really big mistakes from IZI. Consistency has been in their favor the entire way through, and in the round where it mattered, where the consistency would have allowed them to get that ace, finally punishing Ascent for both making a mistake in the same round, where previously one of them had been managing to hold on. IZI just can't quite get it across the line.
Man, the first mistake that IZI makes, and it's just big enough that it throws him back behind both Ascent players there. That is absolutely unbelievably unlucky timing. They could be 3 points ahead right now. It could be 6-3 the scoreline. You just have to keep their heads down and keep driving right now. Coco reeling from the mistake he made last round, in 4th position for the time being, but Worker this time has put together a shift. You've seen him driving on the limits so far on this map, narrowly avoiding edges. Coco drives a little too far on the limits this time around, and it's looking like it's going to be another first place for IZI and a 4th place as well. Arthur goes for a very low jump, but Worker takes more speed out of it. It's all going to be down to this final jump. Once again, real consistent from Worker, an absolutely star player for the team, but again, it's just going to result in a draw.
110.7 is again a very, very strong time to win a round. Worker setting it this time around. It's going to result in the draw again. And Arthur really wanted to put his team in front in that one, risking it very low on both of the identity jumps. On the first one, it didn't lead to the crash, but kind of sent him almost too far over the jump. Overjumped that first jump, and with not as clean a landing, didn't have the speed, despite the fact his second jump was definitely about as good as it gets. And so yeah, here we are, still drawn 5 rounds in a row, and that means we are now up to 7 draws and 6 aces in this match, with no team just taking a round win.
It's insane so far, but right now it's looking like it's going to be another ace at the moment. Oh, never mind. Coco does not make the speed check whatsoever. Arthur gets a really good exits and almost overtakes Worker, but Worker just about gets a better bobsleigh section, although Arthur will take back that position. Maybe this time around, Ascent can just get that position back and maybe just get a 1-3 just to get 1 point ahead here. That's all you need, especially when it's just been draws over and over again. Will Worker be able to get that overtake done? His jumps have been better so far as there are. Oh, that's backwards. Oh no, Arthur stays in first position. Worker may just try and get this last jump done. Oh no, Arthur does not get through. Worker takes first position. Has Zera stayed in the right position? Yes, he has. Did Arthur go over backwards there? I have no idea what is going on, but it's another draw. I don't believe it.
I don't think Arthur needed to risk as hard as he did there. He again went for incredibly low jumps. Worker was close behind. It would have been close to the finish line, but Arthur had a tenth or two of a lead. It would have been enough to maybe take it a little bit safer. There's only so much time that Worker could have gained through that identity, and ultimately Arthur's decision to go full risk has not paid off as we end up with our 6th draw in a row.
Yeah, this is very much a Troller moment, although I would like it if we saved the draws for overtime. Can we not draw all the way up to 10-10? That would be absolutely lovely, guys. You know, let's let the other teams play at some point today.
We finished both of the first 2 maps in 4 rounds. We had to, you know, we had time to burn.
Yeah, well, Zero and Arthur are now in first and second position. And I mean, these two players have been trading back and forth, kind of being the driving force of the team so far. Worker is trying to catch up, overcooks it a little bit towards the end of the S-bends and falls back into 4th position. This could be the opportunity now for Ascent. Will the jumps be good enough? Arthur just barely makes it through, and Worker will overtake to take 2nd place. Zera, though, looking real good. It's a great jump from Worker. He may just keep that 2nd position. It's real close. Finally, we break the tie. It's an amazing round. Ascent managed to take it 8-7.
Arthur slightly overcooking it again on these jumps, continuing to go for a very, very low line through. And it is actually, especially on that first jump, occasionally sending him slightly too far. And he's getting quite slow exit speed as a result out of that first jump. It's maybe the right idea in close rounds. You know, he is definitely going for the fastest available route. But if it's leading to you losing time instead, the risk may not be worth the reward.
Yeah, well, Easy Dream still within a chance of winning this map. Obviously, an ace here could completely take it away from Ascent. They have been afforded 7 points over 7 rounds so far. All they need to do, get over the line in a 1-2 position. And so far, Worker looking to make that a possibility. Zera and Arthur behind already by a matter of tenths. And it's looking real good, but Coco has fallen back even further off the back of the bobsleigh section. And it's going to be even more difficult now to get that position done. And the more draws you get in this, Ascent are just going to get closer and closer to that finish line. It may just be 10 points in 9 rounds for Ascent over this one. Arthur gets a very awkward jump, lands sideways, going to lose a lot of speed. In moves Coco, and we may be looking at a round win. Back the other way, Zera misses. Is it going to be the ace? It's the ace! There's no way! Easy Dream take the map after all of that!
No. No. That's not how that ends, Twiggy. That's ridiculous.
Oh, whoever wrote the script for today. Oh, I love you.
Draw 6 rounds in a row, finally pick up a win, and I think all the blood just rushed to their head because on the next round, they cannot make it through the identity. And it's Easy Dream who managed to pick it up, and full credit, I think, to that goes to Worker, who won a lot of those rounds, who I think was basically the only player to not make a mistake on the identity at all. May have made 1 over the course of the 8 rounds that we just played there, and it's led the team to victory. They lead the match 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, for Easy Dream, it is just consistency for them. That is all that was, you know. A couple of mistakes were what lost them points there, whereas Ascent, over and over, it was them dropping into 4th position that stopped them from getting points over Easy Dream. They only got 1 round win, despite the fact that a lot of those rounds ended with an Ascent player in 1st position.
Well, here we go. On to breaking. And, well, Arthur and Coco have dropped back. I think they're going to potentially give the ace back the other way to say thank you for letting Ascent letting them ace them at the start of the last round. I think this starting ace, probably not as impactful as that last ace was.
Yeah, neither of these teams have won breaking yet. Ascent have lost it twice. Once to Ominosun, a very rough scoreline of 12-3. Once to Sprout, which was 12-8. And Easy Dream have only played it once. That was against Exalti, and they lost it 10-7. So neither team have picked up a victory on this map so far. And both of them are going to be looking to break that right now. And it's looking good for Ascent so far.
Twiggy, for absolutely no reason, could you just remind me when Scrappy plays tonight?
Yeah, no.
Arthur slid out. That's going to be Zerar off in the distance. Coco is in second place. Twiggy, we have no time. There's a live round going on. It is going to be Coco trailing from Zerar. Zerar will pick up a clean round win on this one. Will Arthur come home to pick up 30? Yes, he does. And Ascent will pick up a round win to kick things off.
You know, when you said that, I had, you know, all the stats open on my second page, and then I turned over to the chat, and I was, oh, okay, I see why you confused me so much, and then I realized. Okay, understandable. Hello, Raiders, welcome. Either way, Easy Dream, and now, once again, off to an awkward start, but it has been consistency for them so far that has been getting them rounds, and as soon as they get that consistency together, it may just be possible for them to take this one back. So far, Coco, the only consistent player at the moment. First position for him. Worker down by 5 seconds. It's an uncharacteristic performance for Worker so far this time around, but again, this map is not comfortable for either team.
No, but especially not so for Easy Dream. Look, they looked very good on their first map in this match, but on both of Ascent's picks, they've looked a little bit more nervy. The lines just are not as practiced, and they're making mistakes in parts of the map, but we don't see necessarily many players make mistakes, with the exception of, you know, we saw Arthur in that last round fly out in the pool. Definitely something that we do see from teams in both Challenger League and Grand League is this pool costing people. Losing contact with the ground for even a second by turning in too aggressively sends your car floating. Hasn't happened to anyone in the top 3 this time around, and Coco leads from Zerar, leads from Arthur, is going to try and hold on to the end, has shed enough speed.
Oh no!
About, but it's still going to get stopped at the line as Arthur will manage to pick up a round win, and Ascent have 2 on the bounce.
Oh, unbelievable. What a beautiful exit from Arthur. Just gains him so much more speed over Coco. Gets the overtake done. Absolutely beautiful. Secures that round win once again. And Easy Dream finding it difficult to get that consistency that they have had over every other map that they've played so far.
And if there is one thing that is definitely a benefit of being the team that's more comfortable on a map, as Arthur will touch in that first difficult turn, it's, you know, the ability of when you're comfortable, it's easier to risk a little bit more. You know, you're going to be able to be more aggressive when you're feeling okay about your performance on a map. And that's exactly what happened at the end of that last round. Coco did still attempt to risk, still did exit very, very wide from the turn, but it was Arthur who was just able to carry a little bit more speed by wiggling a little bit more aggressively on that final bridge, as Coco will touch that sign on the way through, and it's now Worker versus Zerar for the lead.
The pace was looking so good at the start of the map. They finally both of them got through unscathed that first half of the map, and then unfortunately, you know, that ice turn claims so many lives. We've seen it in every series we have seen with this map on it so far, and there again, another place where players fall out so often. Worker does not find his way through the water section unscathed. Zerar zooms into first position now, and Coco and Worker trailing. Worker might even have a difficult time of keeping Arthur at bay. Zerar unscathed through to the very end. Coco almost overtaken by Arthur at the line. But Worker is going to be trailing in 4th position once again. The round win for Ascent. You know, you said this is looking like one of the most likely to be a 7 mapper. I am having trouble, you know, seeing a way in which it won't happen now.
I mean, especially though, once we get onto these maps that were outside the first 4 picks, the maps that players weren't guaranteed to see in this match, those are where things can start to get a little bit spicy, because, you know, those are maps that players don't necessarily come into the week 100% expecting to see based on what they're planning to pick. They should still be well practiced on them, but things could definitely start to change. That's where it's likely to end in a 4-2 potentially, because at the moment it's definitely heading towards a 2-2 scoreline overall. Ascent have had to work for it, but they do now have a lead. That looked like Worker going into a wall, and we'll definitely see it the next checkpoint. It was most definitely Worker going into a wall. Luckily, Coco has managed to pick up the lead from Zerar and Arthanir.
Yeah, taking an outside line on the dirt there seems, on the ice seems so risky, because you have to tighten your trajectory so much that you're so likely to either lose a gear or just not be able to get through. It looks like Zerar did not make it through the water section. Can Arthanir pull out some heroics once again and keep the speed that is needed to overtake Coco this time around? It's happened so many times so far, and it looks like more speed once again. Coco is pushed to the limit and is pushed into a pole. Worker will take his position in second place, but again, Arthanir has been given that first, and again Ascent take a round win.
Arthanir was just gaining on Coco until he overtakes when Coco makes the mistake on the final turn. And with that, Ascent 4-round wins in a row are now out of reach of an ace from Easy Dream, even giving them a draw at this point. And this is not flashy necessarily. This is not a dominant performance from Ascent in the way of, you know, multiple aces picked up from pure pace, just beating their opponents. But it is workmanlike. They have been the team to make less mistakes so far on breaking, and as a result they have an 8-4 lead, and they are looking very, very comfortable indeed.
I mean, Ascent are very much making up the drought of round wins that we've had so far. We only saw one in 3 maps. The last 3 maps we saw only 1 round win coming on through. The rest were aces and draws. Now we've seen 4 round wins in a row on map 4. It's almost poetic, and once again the ice turn just claims several lives. Coco loses a bunch of time. Worker slams into a wall. Ascent now looking to just close things out.
Yeah, I thought Coco was going to be the player in blue to hit on the way through there, but no, he was cleanly through, and Coco is going to be the only player who can prevent Ascent from closing this map out here. But a touch on the wall is going to make that, I'm going to say, unlikely at this point, as Ascent have looked okay on this identity. No real mistakes coming through from either player just yet, and at the moment they are safely across the first beam, safely across the second. They are getting closer to the outside, but still nowhere near hitting, and it will be Ascent 11-4 tying up the series.
Yeah, a nice time to end things off. Once again, it's not, you know, groundbreaking, but it's very much good enough to get that win. I mean, Ascent were on the front foot that whole time. There was no chance, really, for Easy Dream unless something drastic changed there. So, real good. Once again, I mean, both teams looking very well prepared on certain maps, really not prepared at all on others.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, I think maybe breaking is our best example of why players keep banning Frosty, because that ice turn has caused problems. And if that single ice turn is really causing problems, if players are struggling to line it up from distance, clipping the outside or clipping the inside, trying to go safe, or not safe, but just go a little bit tighter on through the turn, maybe you can understand why the idea of multiple ice 360s in a row isn't their favorite idea. With that said, while they may not be okay with ice, they seem totally fine with its melted version as we head to Pool, a map that we've seen plenty of so far this season. With the score tied at 4-4, Ascent picking up a win here would set them up very, very nicely to close things out on their pick for map 6.
Yeah, this has really been one of the most competitive maps over the course of this. You know, we're looking at Airwalk and Pool so far, I think, as the 2 most, you know, well-prepared tracks. The ones that everybody is trying to really set new Challenger League records on every single time we see it. And I'm excited to see how that's going to progress over the course of the stage. Right now, Coco in first position, Worker with a small mistake, falls back by 1 whole second now, and it's looking like Easy Dream are going to have a difficult time of just keeping this. Coco falls back in the dirt. I think there was a wheel touch there.
Yeah, and 105.5, remember, is a good time on this map, and we'll look and see, can anyone get close to it here as Coco looks to overtake Arthanir, both of them having to release a little bit around that outside turn, and so will be Arthanir still with the lead. Zerar goes safe through the final turn, and if Coco doesn't have the speed, but Coco does have the speed, it's not enough! It is enough! Coco will hold on to second place, and Ascent still take the round win, but it's not an ace.
Oh man, I love the Pool identity so much. The amount of snipes we get is absolutely unreal. Just the different lines you can take there. I mean, this is the map where we saw 3 players separated by 1,000 for first place. Absolutely unbelievable every time we see it, and it's just... I mean, the 2 schools of thought, all right, they're so great. It's just, you know, do you safe it? Do you go on the inside, lose a bunch of exit speed? Do you go all the way on the outside, risk slamming into a box? And try and get that overtake done in that final turn. Every time we see it, it is absolutely, you know, heart-wrenching stuff. So, I mean, brilliant content. Brilliant content. And
we
right
love
now,
content.
the roles are reversed for Easy Dream. Worker this time in first position. Coco down by a second.
Oh, and Zerar will make a slight touch there, and that's going to compromise his line into it and lose a lot of speed. So it really is all about Worker versus Arthur at the moment, and the follow-up question of if Coco can catch Zerar through the identity. But first, this battle to be decided, and Worker will get grip first, and so get too much speed into the box, and all of a sudden Zerar close enough behind that the ace will come through. 105.6 for Arthur up at the top, and Zerar in second place. Ascent jump to 5-1 and seize control of this map for the first time really that either team has done so.
Yeah, a very solid time. Not that it was needed from Ascent after the mistakes of Easy Dream. We're looking for a 105.3 or so to break the Challenger League record at the moment. Really not far behind the Grand League record whatsoever right now. And, you know, it's only Playday 3. We're going to see those times get even closer as we move on forward. Coco and Worker, they still have a lot of work to do. Obviously, momentum-wise, they are still on that back foot, having lost very handily to Ascent on breaking. It is now important that they regain that confidence.
I said that this really was one of the teams seizing control of this map for the first time. That's largely because it is the first time that we're seeing a proper lead for one of the teams on an opponent's pick. And with it reverting then back to Ascent's pick, back to Vortex, a map that if you are not practiced on, you're going to get punished very quickly. Things look very rough for Easy Dream if they do not find their way back into this match on pool. And this ace, through this identity, that could be what they need. But Coco has lost speed. Narthanier is on the prowl, overtaking one. Worker needs to hold on to this, needs to get something back for the team in this round. Will cruise to a first place finish at 105.8, and it will be 1 point back, the lead close to 3.
It's really not enough for Easy Dream. Still trailing by 3 points now. Ascent getting themselves closer and closer to that 7-point scoreline where they can close out this map and make things incredibly difficult for Easy Dream. Now they need both players to put in a great performance.
And it's tough. It's tough to have both players peak on the same round, and that's kind of what it seems like Easy Dream need at the moment. Ascent's consistency has been there, at least one of them putting in a time within a few tenths of the kind of round winning time that we'd expect of 105.5, 105.6 so far. But hey, Zerar is going to have to be the player to do it this time around. Arthur is fully gone, jumping 2 inside on that turn, and Zerar trying to chase down Worker.
Yeah, Zerar going real risky on those lines. Is going to take a really tight entrance into the grass and lose a little bit of exit speed for it, but does stay ahead of Coco for the time being. Worker and Coco now need to get these lines down in the identity, make sure they get an ace out of this, draw things up at a 6-6 score line, and it's looking risky for both of them. Coco going on that outside as well, trying to overtake Zerar. Does about get it done, but can he get it done on this final turn? It's looking good from both of them, but Coco overheats once again, falls into the wall. It's going to be a round win once again for Ascent. As for Easy Dream, sorry, but it's not quite enough. They overheat in the final. I mean, had to, right, to stay ahead of Zerar, but still, just not quite enough. And Ascent move one step closer to closing out this map.
Crack point for Ascent and a chance to give two attempts to close this match out as well. Easy Dream won last time these two teams met, all the way back in promotion and relegation. That was a 7-game match. Ascent looking to not even let them get to the game 7 this time around.
Coco and Worker, I mean, they're closer. If they keep getting round wins, at the very least they can just about catch up. Oh my lord, Zerar stays in the fight just about after hanging a wheel over the end. Coco and Worker still in first and second position though, and that speed is starting to get there, you know, really starting to warm up into this series. There's been a lot of mistakes coming on through. More importantly, their consistency is generally what wins them stuff, but when they get that speed going, maybe they can just about dominate Ascent here and just about get this one done. And if this round stays the way it is right now, they're going to be in first position here on this map. Coco and Worker, it's a good first turn from both of them, but Arthur overtakes Worker into the second turn. Now it's going to be good. Arthur goes on the outside, loses a lot of speed. It's looking like it's going to be the ace this time. Coco and Worker cross the line. Good times for both of them. A 105.56 is what wins it. And there we are, 8-7 for Easy Dream.
Ascent start the map off with a 5-1 lead, a lead that we very, very rarely see reversed, a lead that rarely does the team who sits on one manage to turn around and take a map win. And yet, here Easy Dream sit in the driver's seat, 8-7 the scoreline, and a round win now closes it out for them. Even draws from here on out, just denying Ascent any round win of their own will be enough. And Easy Dream do look to have settled a little bit after a shaky map on breaking.
Yeah, well, it's now important that they do close this one out. This is where that consistency that they had before may just come into play. Arthur slams into a wall, falls back by a second. Zerar now trying to stop Easy Dream. Oh, but Worker seems to have hit a sign. He falls back as well. Coco now, it's all up to you because Worker has fallen back into 4th position. You only need a 1st and 3rd, but if Worker can't win that battle against Arthur, and it's looking unlikely being a second down from that player, then Coco needs to force a draw here. Stays in 1st. Zerar slides out in towards the water. Arthur may just get that overtake on his teammate. Coco now just needs to get across the line. It's looking good. Coco comes in clutch. Worker not able to get the overtake done. We move to a 9-8 scoreline.
For as many mistakes as there was in the back half of that map, it ends up being very, very close to Easy Dream managing to pick up the round win and the map anyway. Only a couple of tenths separating Arthanir and Worker at the back there. And if Worker managed to catch back up, that was it. We were done. We were going to Vortex with Easy Dream in the lead. Now an ace does it for Easy Dream. Ascent will need an ace of their own, or they will need to pick up a round win to send us to overtime.
Yeah, Easy Dream now with the easier route to winning this map. Obviously, a round win for them completely closes it out 11-9. They just need to get this one done here. Worker and Coco stay in 1st and 2nd position. They look like they have really warmed up into this map. They've found their way through. If Worker hits the sign again, it might not be the same story, though. All they need here is to keep this draw. Coco needs to stay in 1st place right now. One mistake could end things for them in this map. Coco, just get it done. You've got Zerar and Arthur on your tail. It's a really wide opening into that 1st turn and almost falling down into 2nd place. Arthur right on his tail now. Zerar has caught up as well. Coco gets it all done though. It's good exit speed. He stays in 1st. He gets the map for his team. 10-9.
I have no idea how Coco holds onto that lead. It looked like his goose was cooked when Arthanir came out of that 1st turn. The real underwater section, Arthanir's line consistently has allowed him to straighten out earlier, has allowed him to carry more speed towards the 2nd turn, and yet somehow he didn't manage to make the catch-up happen. It was just Coco getting out and getting grip on the side of the pool a little bit quicker and managing to turn in sooner. Coco clutches up when the team needs it, and Twiggy, you can't just keep laughing at the fact that I said his goose was cooked.
I'm sorry, I have not heard that idiom in years. It has been so long. I don't even know where that comes from. Genuinely, what is the origin of goose being cooked? I don't.
Someone probably cooked a goose. And,
I would hope that's where it came from. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Either way. Now we move on to Vortex, which has been a divisive map over the course of the stage already. Only having been, 2 play days so far. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to hopefully end things off for Easy Dream. Hopefully for Ascent, get them to map 7.
Yep. We do a brief pause here and we'll figure out what's going on. I mean, we won't. Someone will, and then they might let us know, or we'll just get back into game. Either way, hopefully this break doesn't last too long as we wait and see if Ascent can send us to map 7. And once again, Twiggy, we said that Vortex is a map that, if you're not ready for it, will send you falling off fairly often. You're going to struggle on some of these spinners. You're going to struggle with the lines that you need to take entry on. Easy Dream have been punished at least once already for not being as prepared as their opponents were on a map here. We'll see if Vortex is a different story, because otherwise map 7 is feeling very likely to me, as that 1st pipe will already make Coco struggle, and it will give Ascent a lead.
I mean, we've seen this map 6 times, and 2 of those times, the losing team got less than 3 points. You know, it's one of those maps where if you're not prepared, it's over. You know, you need very specific lines to get through all of these pipes unscathed. You make one error, and it just compounds itself into a horrible circumstance for you. Worker has moved up a little further after the bobsleigh section, now trying to catch up to Zerar. Knows he needs to get 1st place to get that draw done, barring a mistake from the Ascent players now, but stays in 2nd position. Really important that he gets that overtake done. A really inside line. It's risky, and it's too risky.
Yeah, Worker was carrying more speed than Zerar and thought he had enough speed to jump much further to the left than Zerar was going for. And as you say, it was just too risky. He went too far left, could not get the car underneath him before falling off the inside. And as a result, Ascent start this map off with an ace. And map 7 could still happen. With that said, Ascent started off the last map 5-1, Twiggy. They had a big lead, and it did not work out for them. So we'll hold off getting too excited about map 7 just yet.
Yeah, well, Challenger League record on this map was set in Playday 1 by Dexter with a 105.554. We're still over 3/10 away from the Grand League record there. No team so far, even though we've played it so many times, has really held a candle to the Challenger League record. It's just one of those maps where there are so many sections where you can lose time or there's a suboptimal line. You know, it's so difficult to get everything done really precisely on this one. But right now, I don't think that's on either team's minds. They are not looking to break records. They are looking to just beat the other team.
Yeah, nobody is going for that hyper-aggressive outside dirt line that Dexter used to set his record as well. But also a line that cost Dexter a lot, that will be Worker sliding out, and it will be both Ascent players back into a lead once again.
Yeah, Zera and Arthur Near now ahead by over a second on both Easy Dream players. It's looking like we are definitely going to be going to map 7. That being said, 5-1 scoreline last map, and Easy Dream still managed to take it away. A 6-0, obviously a little more difficult to get done, and Arthur Near just about gets over that final pipe to get to the finish line. But it's good from both of them. It's all they need, and Easy Dream looking like it's going to be even more difficult to catch up this time around.
An Easy Dream, they did pick Vortex against alternate attacks. They did win on Vortex against alternate attacks, but that in particular was a map where the unfortunate NuaLaoch Scandier came out for week 1 of the Challenger League with quite a few mistakes popping through, and Easy Dream took full advantage. This time around, Ascent have really not put a foot wrong so far, other than a small mistake that cost a few tenths to Arthur in that first round. Even still, they've picked up 2 aces in a row. It is even better than their pool start. They sit 6-0 up, and despite the fact nobody is still taking that aggressive dirt line, Ascent are back out to that lead. Coco will touch, but with the reactor there, won't lose too much time.
Yeah, in fact, gains a little bit of time on his teammate here, Zera and Arthur Near. Well, Zera. Just Zera. I thought for a second that they were, like, you know, holding hands, but no, Arthur Near had to respawn at that point now, and Worker and Coco now on that chase, just need to get this one done. If they can get an ace back, things are looking okay for them. Generally, being three points down, we've seen so many teams be able to get that point difference done. Oh, Coco, it looked like it was not looking good, and in the end, it is not good enough. But Arthur Near still not towards the identity yet. Coco can be afforded that mistake, but right now, I mean, with Ascent getting first place, Worker has fallen back. Coco doesn't make it over. What is going on? Worker makes it across the finish line eventually, but Arthur Near is taking third place. That's a round win for Ascent.
Yep. That's one of the rounds on Vortex, all right. I think that round, Twiggy, is what everyone expected when Vortex first was revealed. It's just everyone crashing on that identity multiple times, spinners just not getting people where they needed to be, and it's not proven to be the case. That is a consistent identity. Players get through there more often than they do not, except on that last round.
Yeah, I mean, that looked like me on my discovery of Vortex. Just like 50 kind of respawns of me trying to get over that pipe and just not making it. Not at all. Yep. Either way, yeah, for Coco, it looked like a pretty difficult round. I mean, for everybody on the server, looked like a pretty difficult round, apart from Zera. But either way, now, Easy Dream, I think, probably setting their sights on map 7 at this point. It's looking all but over here. A 1-8 scoreline, pretty much an insurmountable. Walker has gone over. Okay, yeah, I think it's over.
I love that pipe because, yeah, like, Worker is really not that far off the correct line for entry on that one, but if you get it even a wheel's length wrong, yeah, that's just going to happen. You're just going to go flying off to Neverland and join Peter Pan on that one. And that's happened to Worker. And, well, here we are. It's another ace for Ascent. It's going to be an 11-1.
Hello.
And it's a 105.504. Small case as lowercase. It's not a world record, but it is a new Challenger League record to close things out.
Yeah, wow, that's one way to end out that map. Obviously, you know, this whole series has been filled with, you know, it's a roller coaster of emotions so far, but that's going to be pretty good for Ascent. At the very least, they have got themselves a Challenger League record out of it. Very nicely done, and are beating Dexter's time by about 500th. Very good. We're getting a little bit closer to the Grand League record there, but it is map 7. Well, not our first, actually. Sorry, the first match shot we saw was a 4-3. But this time, Ascent, I mean, looking like they are magnetized towards 7 maps here because they, well, their first map they played against Omino Sun was also a 7 mapper. Let's see if they can get it done this time around. They did lose out that final map to Omino Sun, 12-0. So hopefully a little better from them out of this one.
It'd be hard to be much worse. Ultimately, is I guess maybe the good takeaway, right? That's how these things work. It was very, very rough. The only thing that, as you say, we can hope is that that lit a fire under them. They said never again will Sinuous go that badly for us.
Yeah, at the very least, they're not on Sinuous this time around. They are on Off-Road. Let's check their stats on this map.
My brain.
11-6. Look, they lost against Omino Sun.
I'm going lost to Omino Sun on Sinuous 12-0 as well. All right. I'm got the wrong map. Really, there's no defense.
All good. Well, on Off-Road, they won this map against Sprout. It was the one map they won against Sprout on PLAYDAY. Well, PLAYDAY won, but their second game. So hopefully for them, this is feeling a little more comfortable. And with Worker falling down by a couple attempts already, maybe it could be good for them. But as we know, Off-Road has been a dramatic map over the course of the stage so far for the Challengers League. Very close a lot of the time.
It has been. This has been such a close match as well so far. Aces and draws defined the first half. Ascent scraping out Pool was so important, and then, well, they lost ultimately, so we'll see how that goes for them from here on out. Ascent are at least in position to draw this first round, but it's going to be very close through the trees. His Worker is just behind Arthur here. Zera are close behind Coco as well, but Coco is managing to fend them off. Processional through the trees, and a 59.9 is strong to start things off.
Very solid time. Again, we are in the mid 59s here for the Challenger League record. Currently held by Dexter, 548, I think, is that one. And now, Easy Dream, obviously, having won that round, come first in the round, there we go, are looking to keep some confidence up. Obviously, the last 2 rounds have been a little rough for them, at least at the start. Or over the course of the full map, if we're talking about Vortex there, but that's an important mistake to pounce on here. Easy Dream now half a second ahead of the closest trailing player from Ascent. Arthur near down by 2 seconds already.
And maybe not just the last, starts of the last few maps. The last 8 matches have been pretty rough for Easy Dream. Yeah. They have not won a match since week 1 of stage 1 of the Challenger League, and right now they are on map 7. They are in 8th position to go 3 points up over Ascent and break their 8-match losing streak. Nobody potentially beats Easy Dream 9 matches in a row, and Ascent may unfortunately be the team to give them that win as they drop behind by 3 points.
Well, so far, we've really been setting our eyes on Worker as the player to really set, kind of first place times out of Easy Dream. But right now, Coco seems very well prepared here for Off-Road, right when you need your teammate to really come in clutch on map 7, the death of the series right now. And it seems like Coco very, very prepared for this one, setting 2 sub-minute times here, and now it's going to be the best time possible to get more of those done. Ascent having trouble keeping up in the first 2 rounds.
Coco and Worker once again off to a quick start, and Coco has had a fantastic match today. We had questions about his performance after week 1, but he has clutched up in multiple situations in order to get this team across the line, not least of which that final round on Pool to prevent the overtime. And at the moment, Coco and Worker are hand in hand. It's a lovely team effort as they look to move 7-1 up here on map 7 here on Off-Road.
Yeah, and their ice, I don't want to jinx them, their ice has looked really solid so far. In fact, they're looking incredibly consistent as Zera has met with the box fairies within the trees. It's looking like the easiest ace possible. Worker has missed a checkpoint. He's going to have to respawn, but he's still far enough ahead that I think... Did he back up and get the checkpoint?
I think he may have reversed, got the checkpoint.
Did he reverse into the checkpoint?
You know, just reversing to get the checkpoint and driving forward again. Look, you have very high acceleration when you have reactor boost on, okay? It wasn't that much of a time loss, so they'll still pick up the ace.
I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give him a wicked point for that because that's absolutely hilariously backed up and went for a checkpoint. That's amazing. Oh my god. Well, either way, Easy Dream looking to close things out real quickly here. It may just be another 4-round win for them. Harking things back to map 1, although Worker having a awkward first few turns is going to be struggling to keep up with the Ascent players now.
Maybe we've been getting a little bit too excited for this first Easy Dream in 9 matches. Maybe there's still a chance that Ascent can pull this back and give us a very quick ending, but Zera goes for the outside line around that pole, and that's allowed Coco through into first place, and it is identical lines from Coco and Arthur, who straighten out at the same time, and that means Arthur not managing to gain on Coco until this reactor boost, when both players from Ascent will get slightly quicker pace until Zera is too wide over the engine off and crashes out. Arthur will have to hold on for first place at the moment and as many points as possible for the team. Worker is still a long way down, so this should be Ascent getting only a single point back over their opponents. But that was so nearly an ace. That was so nearly at least closing the gap to something they could catch.
Yeah, well, I mean, Easy Dream's still only 2 points away. Ascent need an ace at some point here to catch up. And that's a difficult ask when, I mean, Coco has been incredibly consistent so far. Worker has been putting in some good times as well. This is an Easy Dream that look well prepared for off-road. I mean, neither of these teams have been fully prepared for every single map that we have played today. You know, there have definitely been some sweeps going on over the course of this series, but Easy Dream, when it comes down to it, if you can get that 7th map cleanly, oh man, there's a lot of airtime going through for every single player. There, Arthur has not found the correct line. I'm not sure what happened to his car there, but he's down by a second already. Now, if the ice slides are good for Easy Dream, it could all be over. It's real nice from both of them. A 1-3 position right now. Zera fighting to try and get first place and keep Ascent in the game, barring any mistakes from Easy Dream. That's the only way you get it done, and Zera is overtaken, but does he have more speed moving in towards the identity? Yep. Just about gets ahead of Coco. Can he stay in first position? Now Coco has more speed on the turn. He gets back into first place. It's going to be real close, but Coco closes it out.
For the first time in 9 matches off the back of Coco clutching up finally for this team, Easy Dream are match winners again in the Trackmania Challenger.